In this video, we're going to be looking at the composition of functions, including the sum, the difference, and the products of two different functions. Okay, so let's look at this first one. We have g of x equal to x plus 5 and h of x is equal to 3x minus 5. The first thing we're asked is to find h minus g of x. So you should note that when it's in this notation, what that actually means is h of x minus g of x. Okay, so you're just going to take the h function and then subtract off the g function and get an answer. That's what this notation means. These are the same thing. Okay, so if we do that, h function goes first, so 3x minus 5 goes here. That's h of x, and then minus the g of x function, which is x plus 5. Okay, notice I put those in parentheses because it was subtraction. So I'm going to have to distribute this negative sign to both of these terms. So we get 3x minus 5, and then minus x, and then minus 5. Okay, so now that we have that taken care of, we can combine like terms. We have a 3x minus x, so 3x minus x is 2x. And then we have a minus 5 and a minus 5. Remember, when you add up two negatives, it stays negative, okay, and you add them. So that's going to be a negative 10, okay? So h minus g of x is equal to 2x minus 10. Okay, now let's take a look at this next one. We have a product here, which means that we're going to take the h of x function and multiply it by the g of x function. That's what this notation means. Okay, so we have the h of x, that's going to be 3x minus 5, and then times, so I'll just write it right next to it, the g of x, which is x plus 5. Okay, so once you do that, you have to distribute all the things in the first parentheses to all the things in the second parentheses. Okay, so there's going to be 4 terms. Okay, so we have 3x times x, which is 3x squared. We have 3x times 5, which is 15x. We have negative 5 times x, which is negative 5x. And then we have negative 5 times positive 5, which is negative 25. Remember, when you multiply a negative and a positive, it becomes negative. Okay, we're going to combine these middle terms. 15x minus 5x is 10x. So our final answer is 3x squared plus 10x minus 25. Okay. Now let's look at this last one. This time we're asked to add them, and we're also asked to plug in a number. So what this means is that we either need to find what is h plus g first and then plug the 1 into it, or we can plug the 1 into each function separately and get an answer. And that is the simpler way, since we haven't already figured out what the function is. So this could be h of 1 plus g of 1, which means if we do it this way, we're going to just plug in the 1 into both functions and add the answers together. So h of 1 will be 3 times 1 minus 5. And then g of 1 will be 1 plus 5. Okay, so that's 1 plus 5. I put a parentheses around that. So 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So that's h of 1. It's negative 2. G of 1, let's see, 1 plus 5 is 6. So plus 6. So h of 1 is negative 2. And g of 1 is 6. If we add those two together, we get 4. So h plus g of 1 is equal to 4. Okay, let's take a look at these problems. The first thing that we're asked to do is multiply s times r of x. So that's the same thing as s of x times r of x. Okay, so let's write those down. So s of x is equal to x plus 3, and r of x is equal to 2x squared. Okay, so we can distribute, the x goes to this, and then the 3 goes to this. Okay, and we do that. So x times 2x squared is 2x cubed, right? Because the power goes up by 1. And then 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. So s times r of x is equal to 2x cubed plus 6x squared. Okay, Let's do this one. So s minus r of x, recall that means s of x minus r of x. Okay, so that gives us, let's see, s of x is equal to x plus 3. And then we subtract the r of x, which is 2x squared. Okay, so when we subtract, there's only one term, so we can drop all the parentheses. So you have x plus 3 minus 2x squared. That's correct. Or you could write it like this, negative 2x squared plus x plus 3. Okay. All right, so last one we have here is s plus r of negative 2. So that one's going to be s of negative 2 plus r of negative 2. Okay, so let me do it a little different way this time. Let's just figure out what these two are. So s of negative 2 will be the first thing I'll figure out, which will be negative 2 plus 3, plugging it into this function. Okay, and that gives us 1. So s of negative 2 is equal to 1. And then r of negative 2, see, we'll have 2 times negative 2, that's where the x is, squared. Okay, so remember you have to do the power before the multiplication. So negative 2 squared is positive 4, and positive 4 times 2 is 8. So this is 8. And what are we doing? We are adding our answers together. So this is equal to, let me write this down here, s plus r of negative 2 is equal to 1 plus 8, which is equal to 9. And that's it.